December 2025 started as a high point for heavyweight boxing champion Anthony Joshua after he delivered a dominant sixth-round knockout victory over Jake Paul in Miami, Florida, a fight watched by millions worldwide. Fresh off the win and having pocketed around $92 million, Joshua decided to travel to Nigeria for a short holiday, reconnecting with his ancestral roots in Sagamu, Ogun State, over the new year. For those who may be unaware, Anthony Joshua was born in the UK, but his parents, Yeta Odusanya and Robert Joshua, are from Nigeria. As a result, much of his extended family lives there. On the morning of December 29, 2025, Anthony Joshua travelled to Nigeria from the UK with members of his inner circle, Sina Ghami, his strength and conditioning coach and childhood friend, whose friendship with Joshua spanned over 10 years and played a role in his boxing success, and Latif Ayodele, commonly referred to as Latz, a close friend and personal trainer who accompanied Joshua on almost every trip. The flight from the UK to Nigeria was smooth. A video posted on Instagram shows them moving through the newly renovated Murtala Muhammad International Airport in Lagos. Joshua even snapped a selfie with his driver. It was clear they were in high spirits and excited to be in Nigeria as they headed to their convoy, where they were warmly received by their security team. At around 9:30 a.m., Joshua was seen shirtless in a private residence, jokingly playing table tennis with Latif, with the caption, "Dishing out table tennis smoke." Sina could be heard cheering in the background. This footage, shared just hours before the crash, is unfortunately the last time Latif was seen alive. Sometime between 9:30 a.m. and 11 a.m., the group left the private residence in a convoy that included two SUVs, a black Lexus and a Toyota Pajero. Joshua and his friends traveled in the Lexus, while security personnel and additional team members traveled in the Pajero. The Lexus was driven by chauffeur Adeniyi Mobolaji Kayode. Joshua initially sat in the front passenger seat beside the driver. However, the chauffeur explained that Joshua's size and long legs obstructed his view of the wing mirror and asked him to move to the back seat behind the driver to improve visibility. Joshua agreed. Latif Ayodele then took the front passenger seat, while Sina Ghami sat in the rear seat opposite the driver. These seating positions are critical to understanding the impact of the crash. As they left the residence, the Lexus led the convoy with the Toyota Pajero trailing behind. They traveled from Lagos towards Sagamu along the Lagos to Ibadan Expressway. The Lexus was reportedly traveling at excessive speed. At around 11 a.m. near Makun, close to the Danko filling station, while attempting to overtake another vehicle, the front passenger side tire burst. The Lexus lost control, swerved, and crashed into the rear of a red commercial Sino truck that was parked by the roadside. The impact was catastrophic, and the Lexus was completely destroyed. Latif Ayodele and Sina Ghami were pronounced dead at the scene. Joshua, who was seated behind the driver and the chauffeur, sustained minor injuries. The second vehicle in the convoy, the Pajero, was not damaged. Footage from the scene began circulating almost immediately and was difficult to watch. Joshua could be seen being pulled from the wreckage by local residents using their bare hands, conscious but disoriented, shirtless and in visible shock. He sustained lacerations to his head and shoulder. Amid the chaos, an onlooker allegedly stole Joshua's mobile phone from the wreckage. Joshua was later taken to hospital for medical evaluation. However, this did little to quell public outrage on social media, where many criticized what they described as a lack of immediate emergency response. A lot of people shouldn't be allowed on the scene. Many of them are just recording with their phones. Real emergency services should have been done in the first minutes. But hey, you are in Nigeria. What makes the incident even more chilling how narrow the margin between life and death was. Joshua's last-minute decision to swap seats with Latif most likely saved his life. Had he remained in the front passenger seat, there is little chance he would have survived. One seat difference changed everything. Joshua spent New Year's Eve under medical observation and was discharged late on Wednesday, December 31st, 2025, after being deemed clinically fit to recuperate at home. Shortly after his release, he and his mother visited a funeral home in Lagos to pay their final respects as the bodies of Sina Ghami and Latif Ayodele were prepared for repatriation to the UK. Joshua returned to the United Kingdom around January 2nd or 3rd, 2026, to continue his recovery privately. The funerals for Sina Ghami and Latif Ayodele were held on Sunday, January 4th, 2026, in London. Joshua later shared emotional photos for the first time since the crash, showing him with his mother and the families of the victims holding a framed photo of Sina Ghami. By mid-January, Joshua had returned to light training as part of his mental recovery. Anyone who has experienced a serious accident or sudden loss understands this reality. The body may heal, but the mind does not forget. Survivor's guilt is real.
It's tough. It's really tough. Like, you know, I know what I feel. You know, they're my brothers, they're my friends, first and foremost. Then we became business partners, we became hustlers, we became lieutenants, we became generals, we became everything, we became housemates, we were living together, do you know what I mean? So yeah, it's a shame, but so there's that side of things, and then
The driver, Adeniyi Mobolaji Kayode, was charged at the Sagamu Magistrate Court. Prosecutors filed 4 charges against him, causing death by dangerous driving, reckless and negligent driving, driving without due care, and driving without a valid driver's license. He was granted bail of 5 million naira, which is about $3,579, and the case remains ongoing. Our thoughts remain with everyone affected, including the grieving families in Sagamu and beyond. Rest in peace, Sina Ghami and Latif Latz Ayodele.